Quick question. Why do you procrastinate? Take a second. Think about your answer. Lack of discipline. Poor time management. Laziness. That's what most people say. That answer is wrong. Completely wrong. And I don't mean that as an insult. I mean it as a fact. Because researchers at Carleton University spent 2 decades studying procrastination. Real behavior logs, not surveys. And what they found destroys every piece of advice you've ever received on this topic. Procrastination is not a productivity problem. It's an emotion problem. That single shift, from time management to emotion, changes everything. Every app, every to-do list, every just start pep talk. Wrong tool, wrong problem. Stay until the end. I'll give you the one intervention that actually rewires this. Physiological. Free. 90 seconds. It works. Here's the myth your whole life has been built around. Procrastinators are lazy people who can't manage their time. The cure is discipline, structure, a better system. It sounds logical. So you download Todoist. You try the Pomodoro technique. You watch productivity. YouTube at 2 a.m. about procrastination. Think about that. You procrastinated on your work by watching videos about procrastination. Your brain is genuinely impressive. Dr. Timothy Keichel at Carleton University ran real behavior tracking studies, not surveys. 2 decades of data. And here's what it shows. When people procrastinate, they are not mismanaging time. They are managing a feeling. The task feels threatening. Anxiety, self-doubt, fear of failure, fear of judgment. And the brain does exactly what it's designed to do. It runs. Your Netflix queue after work is not rest, it's escape. And what that escape does to your brain chemistry, and why it makes everything worse, that's block 4. You think procrastination is a conscious choice, a bad habit you just never fixed. Dr. Judson Brewer at Brown University mapped the brain activity of chronic procrastinators using fMRI. The moment a difficult task appears, the amygdala fires. Your threat detection system activates. Your brain classifies your tax return the same way it classifies a physical threat to your survival. You're not avoiding work. You're responding to perceived danger. Your nervous system is doing exactly what it was built to do. The problem isn't the system. The problem is the trigger. And knowing that changes the entire approach. Everyone's heard the 2-minute rule. If it takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. You've tried it. It helped with emails. It didn't fix the real problem. Dr. Fuschia Sirois at the University of Sheffield found something more important. The neurological discomfort of starting a task peaks in the first 6 minutes. Then it drops. Sharply. 6 minutes of discomfort. That is the entire wall between you and starting. Every task you've avoided for days felt impossible at minute 0. At minute 7, your brain had already recalibrated. You've been quitting before the pain curve breaks, every single time. You probably watched 40 minutes of TikTok this morning to avoid a 6-minute discomfort window. I'm not judging. I delayed writing this script for 3 days. I reorganized my desktop icons instead. Alphabetically. Comment never if you can't remember the last time you started a hard task without checking your phone first. Dead serious. Never in the comments right now. You avoid the task. Then you feel guilty about avoiding it. Now the task carries twice the emotional weight it did before. Next time you think about starting, the threat response fires faster, harder. Dr. Michael Wohl at Carleton studied 119 students across an exam cycle. He tracked who procrastinated, who felt guilty, and who procrastinated again. The students who forgave themselves after procrastinating were significantly less likely to do it again. Not the ones who got harder on themselves, the ones who let it go. The self-blame you feel right now is not motivating you. It is reloading the trigger. Your inner critic is making you worse at the exact thing it's criticizing you for. Before you start a hard task, you check Instagram, just for a second, then Slack, then Reddit, then back to Instagram. 20 minutes later, you're watching a video about a man who builds log cabins in Finland. You have no idea how you got there. Dr. Anna Lemke at Stanford, she wrote the book on dopamine. Literally, it's called Dopamine Nation. Found that digital reward hits create a dopamine debt. Every notification you check before starting a task raises your pleasure baseline. The task now feels harder by comparison. You've raised the bar and lowered your capacity at the same time. That red badge on your Slack icon, that's not a notification. That's a mechanism making your Monday mornings feel impossible. At some point, you stopped saying, "I sometimes procrastinate," and started saying, "I'm a procrastinator." You say it at dinner. You put it in your LinkedIn bio like it's a personality trait. Dr. Carol Dweck at Stanford spent decades studying how identity shapes behavior. Her research shows that self-labeling creates behavioral prediction. When you identify as a procrastinator, your brain treats procrastination as self-consistent behavior. Breaking the pattern starts to feel like breaking your personality. You are not a procrastinator. You are a person who has been using emotional avoidance as a coping mechanism in specific situations. That is a behavior, not a biography. Behaviors can change. Biographies feel permanent. You delay the task because future you will handle it. Future you is more rested, more motivated, has fewer tabs open. Future you will definitely start on Monday. Dr. Hal Hershfield at UCLA showed participants digitally aged photos of themselves. The group that saw their older self allocated significantly more money to retirement savings. We treat our future self like a stranger. Neurologically, we don't recognize them as us. When you say, "I'll start Monday," you're making a promise on behalf of someone you don't emotionally identify with. You are delegating to a stranger, and that stranger is going to wake up Monday and do the exact same thing. I know what some of you are thinking right now. This is fascinating. I'll apply this weekend. You are living the research in real time. I mean that with full respect. I did the exact same thing writing it. I promised you one intervention that works at the level of your nervous system. Coming right after block 4, don't skip it. Tell me a number. How many times in the last month have you said, "I'll start Monday"? Real number. Drop it in the comments. I want to see how high it goes. You think you're exhausted because you work too hard, so you rest. Watch Netflix, lie on the couch, check your phone. An hour later, you're more tired than when you started. Research on cortisol and unresolved task tension from Dr. Hans Selye's foundational stress work, replicated across dozens of modern studies, shows something specific. Unfinished tasks stay active in your brain as open threat loops. Your body keeps cortisol elevated to manage them. You are exhausted not from working, but from the cost of not working while knowing you should be. The most draining thing you did today was probably the task you haven't started yet. Sitting with dread burns more energy than doing the work. Your Slack inbox is draining your battery while you watch Netflix. You've made hundreds of to-do lists. Notion, Todoist, the Notes app, the back of a receipt. None of it fixed the problem. Dr. Peter Gollwitzer at NYU studied a specific kind of planning called implementation intentions. He analyzed 94 studies, 8,461 participants. People who wrote, "I will do X at Y location at Z time," were 2 to 3 times more likely to complete their goal versus people who simply intended to do it. Not, "I'll work on my taxes this week. At 10 a.m. tomorrow, at my kitchen table, I will open TurboTax." Your brain needs a specific trigger, not a wish. The more specific the plan, the less emotional negotiation happens at the moment of starting. You remove the decision. The decision was the threat. I promised you an intervention. Here it is. It's called a physiological sigh, discovered by Dr. Andrew Huberman at Stanford. 2 quick inhales through your nose. 1 long, slow exhale through your mouth. That's it. It is the fastest known method to drop cortisol and reset your nervous system's threat response. It breaks the amygdala loop. It takes 90 seconds. Here is the full system. 3 steps. Step 1. Physiological sigh. 2 inhales, 1 long exhale. Do it twice. 90 seconds. Step 2. Implementation intention. 1 sentence. At time, at place, I will open exact thing. Not a list, 1 thing. Step 3. Set a 6-minute timer. Start. The discomfort will peak before the timer ends. Then it breaks. Every time. Feichel was right. This was never about time. Every tool in this video targets the emotion, not the calendar. Wohl was right. The guilt is making you worse. Let it go. Neurologically, it improves your next attempt. Hershfield was right. Future. You is not a stranger. You'll be them in 24 hours. Start treating them like someone you actually know. You are not lazy. You were never lazy. Your brain learned a protection strategy that made sense at some point. It just forgot to update the software. Now you have the patch. 1 question for the comments. What is the 1 task you have been avoiding the longest? And what emotion comes up when you think about starting it? Not what the task is, what the emotion is. Anxiety, shame, boredom, fear of finding out you're not good enough. I'll be reading every single one. Next video, there is a specific reason you feel worse after scrolling Instagram, even when nothing bad happened. It's not the algorithm. It's a chemical event that starts in your prefrontal cortex within 8 minutes of opening the app. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. That one drops Thursday.